The chicken is going to cross the road tonight. And it's like, why did the chicken cross the road? Because he needed to find God. Did you see that coming? But it's the truth. It's the truth. The road's going to narrow tonight. Probably going to be some people offended, which really doesn't bother me. I used to seek people's approval, and I don't need that today. I don't need people's approval. How do I get into this? You're the lost soul. Okay, you're the real deal. Okay, you've come back from the grave. Okay, so you don't need any BS, and I haven't given you any so far, and I'm not going to give you any tonight. Sure, there's a lot of things I could be doing. My brother has a yacht. I have a motorcycle. There's lots of things I could be doing. You said, well, don't you have anything better to do? Maybe I wouldn't even say that. No, I don't have anything better to do. I don't have anything more important to me than to do what I think God has called me to do. And I've been doing that for 2 years now. And I never once questioned it, and I never once wanted to do anything else. That's what happens when you get lit on fire. You eat, breathe, sleep it, talk it, think it 24 hours a day. You don't get tired of it. It only gets deeper and only makes you more happy with each passing day. So no, I don't have anything more important to do. Okay, it's going to get narrow. And the reason that I'm telling you this, even though you're the lost soul, you just came out of the fog, but you're blocked from God, okay? And we don't need to waste any time to start unblocking you from God. I mean, you broke your deal, the deal's over, and you're God's. You've always been God. So it's time to get right with God, and that's what this is all about. This is all about getting right with God, removing those blocks from God, and one of the ways to do that is the way that you live. And I've been talking to prayer. Well, it's not all about prayer. I can't say enough about prayer, but prayer is one thing. If you think that you're going to sit in your room on your knees all day and night and everything's going to happen for you, it's not. It's not. It's definitely a big part of the walk. But you can't just, there are those that oh God, please help me. I need this and I need that, and watch over this person and watch over that person, and help me through the day, and I want to know you, and I want to know what to do, and that's good. That's good. But in my experience, God in one way is nothing like us. He's nothing like us. And in some ways, He's a lot like us. And we're going to get into that part. I would love to discuss my experiences with God's personality, because He has His own personality. Just like the people that you know in your life, this one is different from that one and all. God is different too. He's got His own personality and character. Believe me, He does. And boy, I can't wait for that segment. But let's get back to this person that's in prayer and everything like that. And let's throw it into an example. Say you have a friend, and they're begging you, and they're talking to you, and they want this from you, and they want that from you, and then when it's all said and done, they haven't done anything for you. They've just basically sat there, okay? And, God, I believe that God wants action. He doesn't want just words, okay? You can't just talk the talk. If you want to touch God's heart, do something that will touch His heart. And you hardcore guys, probably, I don't know, well, what should I do? Should I help an old lady across the street? That's exactly what you should do, and you should enjoy doing it. And if you get the opportunity to kiss her on the cheek and escort her across the street, you're really doing something for yourself. And I know that sounds stupid and that sounds small, but in essence, that's what it is. There's somebody that I know, and they're very old, and once in a while I get to walk them to their car, and I want to tell you what, when you're walking in the light, it's an honor to me to put my arm out. And I think she's like 90 something, but it really is an honor to put my arm out and to escort her to her car. And you know, when you do things that touch God's heart, you're touching your own heart. And that's what we need to do. We need to breathe some life into that black, dead heart. You know, you've come out of the storm, you've come out of the fog, but, you know, and I told you, you haven't done any good deeds lately. Well, it's time to start doing some good deeds. You know, you tried living for yourself. You did everything for you, and it almost killed you. So, you know, you got to live for something else besides you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong of taking your heartfelt requests to God, you know. But you're only going to be as close to God as what you did to be close to God today. You can't say, oh, well, you know, yesterday. No. What have you done for the kingdom today? You know, if you live this on a daily basis, you know, and you make sacrifices of yourself for something greater and other than yourself, believe it or not, you're helping yourself. You know, this is something that I never knew. I never knew that doing good things made me feel good. I always looked at it as I was giving my time, my money, my efforts, and it was going somewhere else, and I'm not getting a piece of it. I'm like giving it away. I'm being taken advantage of, and you know, a lot of us grow up that way, and you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Is that doing things for others feel good? It makes you feel good. Now, it might hurt at the moment that you do it. Okay, that's called sacrifice. Do you think sacrifice, if you don't think sacrifice hurts, then you don't know what sacrifice is. Maybe at the moment of the sacrifice, it's like, oh! But later, when you sit back at what you've done, you know, you are what you do. And it will make your heart grow. It will warm your heart, and it will warm God's heart. And I feel like that. But in my experience, that whenever I've really done a selfless act that probably would touch God's heart, I've always been blessed. And I'm not saying a check came in the mail. I'm saying maybe a feeling came in my heart. And I, believe me, I took the long way around. I took the long road, you know. So I know what I'm talking about. I really do. And so, you know, you can't just sit around and ask for things, you know. God blesses those that work for it. He set this whole thing up, and you'll find that the ones that work hard and give and sacrifice, they're productive, you know. They grow. Their lives grow. They become full. Their lives are full. And that's the path that we need to get you started on. And you know, I don't recommend you walking toward the first old lady you see, because she probably thinks you're going to steal her purse like you did last time. But there's a lot of things that you can do for other people. And I don't really know what condition you are in your life, but just know that you're going to have to start living for something other than yourself. If you're living for you, you're going to be miserable. I can tell you this right now. And there's going to be some things. I mean, you know, you've come a long way, and I congratulate you on that. But there's so many things that separate you from God. There's so many things that block you off from God, and you're going to witness those behaviors, those little things that you know are wrong. You know, you've got a meter that tells you these things. You have a conscience. Remember I talked about your gut twisting up? Well, you didn't even feel it before until you went off all the garbage, and then all of a sudden you could feel your gut twisted up. Well, it's been twisted up for years, man. It twisted up right before you did whatever it was that got you into this. And if you can think back far enough, you'll remember when your gut twisted up, but you didn't listen to it. Now you're going to start listening to it. You know, your gut's twisted up because you're doing things that you know are wrong, and you're like, oh, how? You know, how am I going to go to this God of yours and ask for forgiveness when I do these things? And I know that I'm not going to stop doing these things, so I can't go to it. Well, you know, I would say, I would advise you to ask for help for that. I would say, God, help me not to want to do these things. Evidently I must want to do them. They must please me or pleasure me in some way, or I would stop doing it, but I just can't. And those are the kind of things that you need to take to Him in prayer. But that doesn't mean not to go into action. And I think that's what this is about. You're going to be changing your life, and that includes action. And I'm going to tell you in the next segment, we're going to get some practical advice on what you should be doing if you've come out of the fog, your gut's not quite twisted up like it was, and you're up and about, and you're moving around, and you're restless, and you really want to know what to start doing in your life. And